Good afternoon, fellows guests. Welcome to the Rotary Club of Wellington in our 96th year, a club making a difference since 1921. What a dynamic world we live in. Even though I'm a Cantabrian, for the Hurricanes to be, and I'm a Hurricane, and go the Hurricanes for the next 3 weekends. Thoughts go out to the French this week. It's a dynamic world and it's a really uncertain world. And also later this week, in that dynamic space, the US Republican Convention will be something the world will watch with interest. At the President's table today, I'd like to welcome and acknowledge our guest speaker, former Labour MP and CEO of Community Law Centre of Aotearoa, Elizabeth Tennant, and will be introduced by and thanked by Karen Coots and Peter Cornish today as our Sergeant. Just a reminder, 2 things, please make sure your phones are on either silent or vibrate, and if you're not wearing your name tag, please pick it up during a break because it helps the club. In guests and visiting Rotarians, I'd ask William Somerville to introduce his guest.
My pleasure to introduce Mr. Jose Guerrero, the New Mexican Ambassador. Been here for 2 months. He's come along to check out the Rotary Club of Wellington.
Ambassador, welcome. And I'd invite Roger Miller to introduce your guest, please.
President, fellow Rotarians, my pleasure to introduce Tony Davies, Corporate and Commercial Manager with Westpac here in Wellington.
Thanks, Roger. Welcome, Tony. Any world travellers returning? Tony, you know the drill more than anybody here. And world travellers departing. Yes. I now ask John Hall to say grace, please.
For good food in a world where many go hungry, for great fellowship in a world where many are lonely, and for the opportunities we all have for service to our communities through Rotary, let us give thanks to our God. Amen.
Birthdays in retrospect, Alexandra here on the 12th, Baisawan on the 14th, Stuart on the 16th, and Stuart Brooker, and Helen Elgar on the 16th. So for all of you, I hope you saved enough over from your birthday celebrations to contribute as well. The Sergeant today is Peter Cornish. Peter.
Thank you, President Mark. First things first, the Hurricanes. Everyone please contribute because of their magnificent victory on Saturday and because of the little bit of luck they got which made them top qualifier. It was luck that the Jaguars beat them by more than 7 points. It was luck that the Highlanders beat the Chiefs and didn't allow them to score a bonus point. So there's a little bit of luck there, but great work by the Hurricanes. Secondly, in terms of the membership committee, as a member of the membership committee, I want to get some money out of you. Firstly, anyone who doesn't carry one of these cards that Ramsey developed, please put some money in the pot. This is a great way in which you can attract people who might be thinking about joining Rotary. Secondly, if you haven't done a sergeant session in the last 12 months, please put your hands up. You're right. I think you can all pay for that privilege. Fortunately, Grant Urich isn't here today, so he won't be taking note of who hasn't done it. But yeah, hopefully you'll get the chance to do that. Now, the major part of my collection is about phobias. We're all afraid of something, and it's when it gets beyond rational that it becomes a phobia. So, pay up if you don't know what these phobia are. You're exempt if you can answer what the phobia is, or you're a sufferer of the particular phobia. So, 3 quite common phobia. Agoraphobia, everyone should know what that is. Yep, outside spaces. Arachnophobia. Yep. Aphrodiophobia. No, sorry, photophobia is snakes. Okay, so we've got rid of spiders and snakes. What about salacophobia? And, sorry? No, not quite. You can pay up for that. Coulrophobia. Any idea about that? No? Okay. Sharks and clowns. Right. Okay. Now, it goes into phobias around family members. Now, included here, we've got stepmothers, we've got mothers-in-law, we've got teenagers. But which is which? Phobophobia? No, that's teenagers. You can pay for that. No. Novocaphobia is stepmother. So, sorry, William, you got a cough up. So, no guesses for pantherophobia then is fear of your mother-in-law. And in a lot of cases, it's quite justified. Okay. So, over the top. Right. Okay. Hexabosio, hexaconta, hexaphobia. Now, the clue there is in the hex or hexa. No, it's the number. It's a number. Yeah. Okay. 666. Quite right. What about the second one then? Hippoto, monstro, sesqui, pedalophobia.
On bicycles?
It's a good guess, but actually it's a fear of long words. And it's the longest phobia that I could find. Okay, now the next one, the most bizarre phobia I could find. Arachibutyriophobia. Fear of peanut butter sticking to the roof of your mouth. Can anyone claim that that is a phobia? That they... Yes, okay, fine, you're exempt. Everybody else, please pay. And finally, 2 phobias that clearly members here don't have. Cathysophobia, fear of sitting. And the last one, catagelophobia, that's fear of making a fool of yourself. Okay, thank you. Any money left, please put it in the pot.
Thanks, Peter. It is interesting. We all have a phobia of some description, and I do have one of those on that last slide. Another 5-minute speaker. It's Oliver Hibberston to introduce himself to the club. So, Oliver, welcome.
Well, 大家好，我的朋友们. In Chinese, that means hello, my friends. I thought I'd spend 5 minutes just introducing myself because I was told that I had to do that, and I'm hoping that the catagelophobia that Peter was talking about, or James was talking about, won't come through. So in brief, I'm Wellington born and bred. My grandfather, Reverend Denzel Brown, has been with this club for a number of years. and I've had some connection with this club as being a previous Ryler contender. I believe between the two of us, that now makes us the oldest and the younger member, which makes us a really exclusive team. Now, briefly, a bit about my background. One of the most important things in my life is that I've had a couple of renal transplants, and that's made me who I am today. So I spent a number of years of my childhood in hospital, 2 renal transplants, and spent a couple of years on dialysis as well, which is how I got to know Dave Henderson, who might be in the room, in the Wellington Regional Kidney Society. So I've had a connection with a couple of these members for a while. Now, as I mentioned, I was a member of the Rotary Youth Leadership Award camp, and I think it was 2007, but it's starting to get on for a few years back now. Which has been a wonderful opportunity to be able to engage with a number of other young leaders across New Zealand and across Wellington who I've maintained those strong connections with through and into the future. Facebook has actually made that a really powerful tool where you can connect with people 10 years previously and still stay connected in some digital way together, which is just a really wonderful thing, and I've worked with a couple of those people previously. And so my time at Rotary Youth Leadership Award really engaged me in wanting to put through youth perspective on a number of issues. And so I've been travelling a little bit around the world, and there's some photos there with UN and Harvard and ASEAN Youth, where I've been engaging in trying to get youth perspective into a lot of these issues, because ultimately it's our future and we're the ones that are going to be inheriting the future, so we should be trying to have our say in what happens in the future. Now, I touched briefly on that, the Ryler and the youth leadership stuff. I thought I'd talk briefly about what I do as a job. I am actually a trained accountant, however I ended up working in communications, which is, as you know, a very natural mix, as the cartoon talks about creative writing and accounting. So I work at a communications agency called Senate SHJ based in Wellington, which is a really wonderful agency that's trying to get the best of a lot of the public sector and also government relations work. And that's my career. And finally, I just should be saying that I've spent the last year of my life in Taiwan. I was lucky enough to receive a Prime Minister's scholarship to head over to Taiwan and learn Mandarin Chinese for 1 year. Although I thought it would be an uphill battle, I made it an even harder challenge to myself because I decided to live in Kaohsiung, which is in South Taiwan, where nobody speaks English practically at all. Which means even if you needed to go to McDonald's to get some food or Mai Dang Lao, you have to use Chinese even just to order at the most basic level. So it was a really good way of forcing me to learn that Chinese, and I have brought my Taiwanese partner back to New Zealand with me, and we're still trying to get through and improve my Chinese, which she would like to see improved a lot more, so that I can communicate with her family, and I imagine I'm going to continue trying to work on that in the future. And I sort of see myself in the future somewhere between New Zealand and Taiwan, and finding a nice fit that works there in the future. So that's me. Thank you very much for accepting me into the club, and I really look forward to getting to know each and every one of you, because everyone's so far has had a really interesting story to share, and I've been really pleased with the way that you've ingratiated me into the club. So thank you very much, and that's me.
Oliver, welcome in, and Denzel, I congratulate you on your succession planning. That's very well done. We'll take a break for fellowship now. If you could be back just before 1 o'clock would be lovely, please. Thank you.